Now, it's been a year since South Africa was grey-listed by the Financial Action Task Force. Despite notices, it seems the country's legal practitioners and estate agents have not fully complied with the Financial Intelligence Centre's critical requirements, posing a threat to South Africa's bid to escape the grey list. Now, with the looming deadline, urgent action is needed to ensure compliance and safeguard South Africa's financial integrity. And joining us to unpack these concerning developments and whether or not South Africa can escape the grey list is Business Day's Linda Ensor. Linda, a pleasure. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Olatanda.
All right, and it's been a year since, I think, February is a year since we were put on that grey list. Has there been a real impact here? Have things gone by the wayside? Have things been difficult in South Africa to show that this has happened to us?
Well, business, I think, will say that the requirements for due diligence have become more onerous, especially with overseas in relationship banking, particularly. But in terms of the rand and of course South Africa's reputation, but from what I understand, the rand hasn't taken a knock from that particular cause. I mean, the other reasons, but I think it's mainly the ease of doing business that's been affected.
I'd like us to then speak about, getting off this list. We've made quite a bit of progress. Let's maybe speak about that.
Yes, I think government's put in a lot of effort to address all the concerns. There were an original 22, and I think it's been whittled down to 8 now. A lot of progress was made. There were various different deficiencies identified in South Africa's regime for combating terror financing and money laundering. And I mean, various different fields. There was the legislative, there was the crime investigation, the prosecutions. So on the legislative front, they've done quite a lot. The General Laws Amendment Bill has been passed, and that deals with identifying beneficial ownership, which was a huge concern for FATF. So that's been done. I think what remains a weak point is the prosecution of financial miscreants. The NPA is it's well known that it's not very strong. But on the other hand, there is the National Prosecuting Authority Amendment Bill, which will establish the independent directorate on an independent footing and kind of bolster its status. So that is also a move in the right direction. I think we have done quite a lot.
So let's talk
with regards to the estate agents and the legal practitioners, they are two particularly vulnerable sectors, because especially for money laundering, because people, can pay cash and buy a house and get rid of their funds in that way. So they are a point of concern for the Financial Intelligence Centre. Both industries are trying to address the problem. The Institute for Estate Agents of South Africa and the Law Society have been conducting workshops and training programs. So I think some estate agents say that it's quite an onerous process. Others say not. Others say that the FRC should have been more proactive and helpful. And so I think the reasons vary.
I must also ask you, could the FIC be tougher with this? It is an urgent matter. It's a matter of national importance. And it does seem a little bit unfair, Linda, to have, just a few parts of business, of society, holding back the process of getting us off that grey list.
Yes, I agree. But then on the other hand, one has to ask the question. The first notices of the FRC went out in March last year, according to the Compliance and Prevention Executive Manager, Chris Milan. And legal practitioners and estate agents were given 3 months to respond. So since June until February, the FRC says that it's been issuing repeated requests. But suddenly now in February, and they need the responses by March in order to fulfill or to meet the requirements of a FATF regional meeting in April. So one wonders what the FRC has been doing between June and now. I mean, now only in February are they considering imposing sanctions. So one could perhaps ask the question whether the FRC has been on the ball sufficiently.
I think that's a very fair, assessment, Linda. I must ask you also, we are hearing about the FIC here. They're being supported by various parts of government and business to get us off that list. I do believe that we are chasing a 2026 deadline.
2025, yes.
Okay.
Yes. During 2025, there will be a FATF plenary meeting where they will consider the South African report. I think there is a confidence in government that there is a possibility for us to get off the grey list. Government's been working very hard. There's been a task team with Treasury and the NPA and various other departments, the FRC, and so that it has received a lot of attention.
Well, I hope we can sort ourselves out just in time for us to recover anything that we might have lost as a result. Linda, thank you so much for your time. It's always a pleasure speaking to you. That was Business Day's Linda Ensor.